Okay, here it is. Let's talk about this. Um, Excuse the beeping here in the background. That's my fire alarm. I have to get my battery fixed for that. Okay, so let's do this. I was not planning on actually creating another Godslayer TV video until I was completely ready. Like I don't have the camera mic yet. It hasn't been delivered yet. But considering what's been going on, it's time to talk. Time to talk. Let's start this off like this. In the human psyche, there are two mechanisms that the human uses to deal with a desperate situation of any kind, whether it's a small or a massive one. The first is submission. The second is aggression. When you are backed up against a wall and you realize you are facing a force that will not disappear, you can't blink and it go away. You can't pray and it go away. Your choices will be to submit to the force in which oppression begins, or to fight, to deal with the force with aggression, in which then revolution begins. You see, this is where we are right now. As a follower of Kemet, I have delved into the past of what it means to be my color for a long time. I've spent, I really can't. I'm 35 now, and I really started my journey with Kemeticism at around 15, 16. Everything that I've learned has always been based on who am I? Not Christian Dion Freeman, not even Godslayer, not even Amarella the Godslayer, the character or the entertainer, the entrepreneur. Who am I? I'm a black man. I'm a man of African descent. I am a man whose ancestors have been trampled over, spread out, divided, exploited, marginalized, raped, killed, broad daylight, killed, on camera, killed. There's something to be said about a person willing to take another person's life. There's even more to be said about a person who will take another person's life in front of people. You see, when we talk about George Floyd and we see the image of a cop, especially a white cop, with his knee firmly cemented into a man's neck, especially a black man, we see two things. One, we see the actual physical thing we're seeing there. A white cop with his knee buried in the black man's neck. We see that. But what we also see is 500 plus years of our lives meaning nothing to them. So much so that even when this man realizes he's being recorded, he doesn't care. Because he truly believes that this man's fate means nothing. Because it sure as hell doesn't mean anything to him. There is a very important saying that people in this country need to never forget, especially those of my color. The price of freedom is blood. It has always been blood. There is no way you can pray for it and it be given to you. Because freedom is not something that is given to you. Freedom is something you earn. Freedom is something you take. We can't sit here and act like this is something brand new, for one. And two, we can't act like this wasn't a long time coming. And yeah, a lot of these riots are not truly what I would call outrage sanctioned, meaning that, yeah, a lot of these rioters and a lot of these, especially a lot of the looters, they're just taking advantage of a situation that's been blown up now. You know, so when you see our people, you know, trying to separate themselves by saying that, hey, look, we're not trying to loot, we ain't trying to burn nothing down, but we are here. We are here, you know, we are here. And even then, there is going to be some violence that is being done in response to another black man being murdered out in broad daylight like this. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, look at this country's history. Look at the history of black people in this country. We've never been given our due. We're always at the bottom of the totem pole. Even when it comes to COVID-19, you can see in some places and with statistical numbers that we are the ones who are suffering a lot more than others when it comes down to catching this thing, dying from this thing. And you could say, yeah, poor communities, you know what I'm saying? Poor communities, a lot of us black people got bad health. That's true. But that was a systematic idealism that has been passed down for centuries. Black people act disparaged because we've always been disparaged. I was born in the crack era in the 80s, man. And a lot of the dope dealers who I used to look up to when I was younger never wanted to do it. They used to tell you about the past when they were younger, you know, in the late 70s, early 70s. Shit was hard for black folks back then. Then all of a sudden, random bricks of crack cocaine just end up in the hands of poor old little us. Really? We all know where that came from. But that's the point. You can't break us and then turn around and blame us for being broken. You have woken a sleeping lion. And you cannot get mad that the lion is now hungry. You can get mad, but I'm telling you, for you to be angry about that, for you to wonder why we lash out, I mean, it's good that most people understand this. They understand what's going on. They understand that we've had enough. But it's very telling when your president likes to say things like, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Those are very authoritarian words to say. You don't even recognize the temperature of your country. And we as black people, we have to. I mean, you guys can, we can all do what we want individually, but as a group, we have definitely got to decide how much freedom's worth. And we got to stick to that. We got to stick to that. Because behavior is a thing that can be adjusted in the human psyche just by changing the results of an action. That's the reason why the human body and the human brain is such an adaptable thing. Because once you change the results of a particular action, the mind is then trained to either do that action because the results are good, or to no longer do that action because the results are bad. If for every time a cop did what they did to Floyd, if for every time a cop did that he paid dearly for it, you would see it less and less. And I'm not just talking about do justice, because we all know that the justice system really don't. It likes to work from time to time, but as a whole, it really don't work for us. But if you want to see, when I watched the video, I was wondering, like, what? For so many people standing around, 4 cops on this man, didn't nobody go over there and be like, y'all finna get up? Like, that's not an option. You're going to get up. 4 of them. Must have been 30 to 40 people witnessing what happened. Off camera. And nobody did anything. You could say, well, no, I didn't want to get hurt. The cost of freedom is blood. When we gonna start doing what we used to do? When we gonna start policing our own neighborhoods? When we gonna start taking care of our own people? When we gonna take it back to, you're not gonna come over here and do that to us. That's not going to happen. There's no longer gonna be just this, oh my God, look what they're doing, stop it. No, there needs to be a, yo, you finna get up, or we all finna get on you. And wherever that goes is where it's gonna go. But you're not gonna do that without any form of retaliation or response. Hell no. Because tyranny works best when people are afraid. We have got to stop being afraid. And we got to stop being divided. And we have to remember the power in our blood. As black people, we are the oldest of bloods on this planet. We are the most powerful of blood on this planet. We have got to stop being weak. We have got to stop being scared. We've had fear beaten into us, raped into us, lynched into us, murdered into us. A cycle that must be broken. Because the price of freedom is blood. Thank you.